Habakkuk says, how long do I got to see all this? I see iniquity. I see wrongful suffering. I see destruction and violence. I see strife. I see conflict. And Habakkuk says, how long? Oh, can I tell you? Let me give you some things. Maybe you don't see. Maybe you don't see what Habakkuk saw. Maybe you don't see what's going on here in this world. Maybe you don't think that there's some things that's going on personally in your life. But let me see if I can dig a little deeper. Can I dig a little deeper? Say dig a little deeper. Let me dig a little deeper. Well, let me tell you the first thing. Impatience and pain has a way of making God seem indifferent. Whenever it is that you're focusing on your life and you're focusing on what's going on in the world, and it's caused you to be impatient because you want God to move, you saying, how long am I going to be in this mess? And whenever it is that now you couple that with pain, you couple that with you being without, you couple that with something else that's happening in your life. It has a way of making God seem indifferent. Indifferent is just simply just a fancy way of saying has no interest, unconcerned. Have you ever been there before the way you like, God, do you even care about what I'm going through? Do you even care about how bad this marriage is? Do you even care about how bad my finances are? Do you even care about what's going on in the life of someone that I love? They didn't ask for that, but they're going through God. It seems as if you're being very indifferent right now. Impatience and pain as a way of looking God seem inconsistent. When Habakkuk is looking at the people of God and seeing what the people of God are doing, and then he's saying, well, God, whenever it was that this happened over here, you did this. But now we're doing this, and now it seems like you're not doing anything. Come on, let me come a little closer, because whenever it is that you're impatient and you're in your pain, it can make God seem like he's not consistent. It makes it seem like, well, God, you're blessing this person, and I know they living like the devil. You're blessing this person over here, and I know they trifling. God, you keep on making a way for this, but yet what about me? God, when I first got saved, it seemed like every time I prayed, it seemed like your presence was right there. And now it seems like the more I know and the more I grow, it seems like the more you go. I like that. I just made that up. Like the more I know and the more I grow, the more you go away from me. God, can I tell you, it seems like you're inconsistent. And patience and pain have a way of making God seem insensitive. I'm trying to tell you, this is why people are wrestling with God in the first place. This is why people right now in the middle of all of this, and we'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is where some people are who don't know God, and this is why they stay away from God. And can I tell you, this is why there's a great falling away even in the house of God. Because you were promised and you were told if you come to Jesus Christ that your life will be better and you'll never want for anything and you'll never be broke again. And then your life, you were fed false promises and you were fed a bill of goods. And here now you trying to figure out, I came to God thinking everything was going to be all right. I came to God thinking everything's going to be different. And it seemed like as soon as I came to God, it seemed like all hell had broken loose. God, it seemed like you are insensitive. Don't you see my family member struggling with cancer? Don't you see my family member dealing with dialysis? Don't you see, God, this chemo? Don't you see the abuse? Don't you see the adultery? Don't you see what's going on, God? Don't you care? And patience and pain has a way of making God seem, here it is, this is the big one, inactive. God, are you up there? It has a way of making God seem inactive. God, I want to believe, but God, help as that father said, help my unbelief. Come on, God, I know it's nothing to you. All you got to do is think it and it'll happen. All you got to do is give a nod. All you got to do is dispatch an angel and it'll happen. God, why are you so inactive right now? God, don't you see all this abuse? God, don't you see, God, this emptiness? God, don't you see this void? Don't you see, God, my child with disabilities? God, don't you see me being laid off? God, don't you see all this stuff that I'm going through? God, don't you see? Where are you, God? How long do I got to deal with this? Where Habakkuk's at? This is where so many people are at. And let me run it by you again. So if God is real, if he's up there, he's supposedly an all good God. If he's all good and he's real, that means he's all powerful. But the problem comes in whenever it is that there's evil in the world, there's trauma in the world, and you're trying to figure out if God is all good and God is all powerful, why won't he stop all this evil? Why won't he stop all this raping? Why won't he stop all this sex trafficking? Why won't he stop these 2 planes from flying into the side of a building? Why won't he stop all these things from happening? So they deduce and they say that there is no God. But conversely, a believer, this is how we think, God is good. He is good. God has all power. There is evil in the world. So because God is good, because God is all powerful, because there's evil in the world, God must have a purpose. Good God. God, because he is good, because he's all powerful, because he is all knowing, he's omnipotent, he's omnibenevolent. All he is good. All he is love. He knows everything. So if he allows pain, if he allows trauma, if he allows rape and murder and violence, and if he allows it, come on here, there must be a purpose for it. Oh, y'all not going to help me here today. Look what Isaiah said. Isaiah 46:10 said, declaring the end from the beginning. That's what God said. And from ancient times, he says, things not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will accomplish my purpose. Can I tell you that God may not be the one that initiates it, but God allows it. And even when the enemy does it, God will take what the enemy does and he'll work it together for his good. Come on, let me bring it home, because y'all not want to think with no atheists and all that. Can I tell you, if God allows your pain, if God allows your hiccups, if God allows your setback, if God allows your setback, if God lets your letdown happen, can I tell you that God is saying, I'm working a purpose for, come on, it's for my purpose, it's for my good, it's for my growth, it's for my development. Come on, you ought to type down the screen. He's doing it on purpose. He's doing it on purpose.